Welcome back to a new season of You Cook. I'm your host, Simon Noack. Welcome back to my kitchen. This episode, we'll be making pizza pockets. The first ingredient is pizza dough. I'll be using this $1 pizza mix, but you can use any pizza dough mix you have. We have a special recipe. I say special, it's just a regular pizza dough recipe in the description that you can use if you don't want to use this $1 mix. For toppings, we have shredded cheese. I'm using mozzarella and pepperoni. And lastly, oil and pizza sauce for dipping. Our first step will be making our pizza dough. But before we get started, you're gonna wanna preheat the oven to 425. Now, moving on to actually making the pizza dough. This pizza mix only requires to add half a cup of warm water. So, just pour the pizza dough in here. I think that's all of it. It is all of it. And you just throw it out into the trash. And next, you just want to grab a half cup of warm water. Now you're gonna want to get your hands in there and mix the dough around. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty because you can't eat without making your hands a little dirty. After you form your dough, you're gonna want to cover it up and let it sit for about 5 minutes. Next, after the dough's been sitting for about 5 minutes, you're gonna want to take some flour and cover a surface so when we form the dough, it doesn't stick to the surface. You know, you don't have to use too much flour because then that'll also stick to the dough and it'll make your dough just bad. You won't be able to put it all together later. So you just take your dough, scoop it out, just drop it on the surface. After you form your dough, you want to get to the point where you could toss it between your hands and it doesn't leave any sticky dough back on your hands, but it's not too dry to where you can't feel the moisture. After that, you want to take off a smaller piece because we're only rolling off small chunks at a time, and flour up your rolling device. We have a cup. You could have a rolling pin. We don't have that, so I'm using this cup. You just want to start rolling it off. Now, if it starts sticking, you could add more flour to it, but honestly, you could just keep rolling it. It'll work. Now you want to get it down pretty thin because we're not making an actual pizza, we're making a pizza pocket, so it doesn't have to be nice and thick. Next step after rolling out your dough is you want to cut it into a nice, good sized rectangle. It depends on how big you really want to make these pizza pockets. And you can take the axis off and just put it back onto your old dough for more later. Take your toppings and you want to just lay them out however you want, as many as you want. You don't want too much because then you won't be able to close your pizza pocket. Then you want to cut some strips. Let's see what we'll do with them later. And you want to take these strips and connect them across. This is what forms our actual pizza pocket. You can literally just pinch them together and it'll work. After you've pinched them together, you're going to want to pat down and pinch the ends too, so we don't have any of our insides or ingredients, toppings, to spill out. After you've made the rest of your pizza pockets, I made 6. You're going to want to lather up your pan with oil so it doesn't stick to it while it's baking. And then as a final touch, add a little bit of oil to the top of your pizza pockets. So there's not like a really bland taste with it. The dough is really cheap that we have and frankly does not taste that well, that good. Now, we're going to put them into the oven for 20 minutes. Put it in the lower top half, and we're good. After 20 minutes, you're going to want to pull out our pizza pockets, and you want them to look this nice golden color. And now, time to plate them. And I'm adding some pizza sauce on the side to dip in because we don't have any pizza sauce in the actual pizza pocket. And there you have it. And that's it for this episode of You Cook. Enjoy.